Hello.
Jeff and Julia.
I messed up. Hey, that's perfect. TV Blunders.
Oh.
I just made one.
That is what we were talking about
today.
tonight.
Look at that.
Does that count?
I'm going to count it.
Or is that like a technical issue?
Or was that on purpose to get into the discussion?
Ooh, you'll never know.
You'll never know. It was an accident. It was a blunder. It was a complete blunder. Okay, you're watching After Hours, Jeff and Julia, and you can catch us on Facebook, obviously, and then the replay on YouTube. But really, a good deal is to catch us on KSN Plus, which is our new streaming service. You can find that on Roku, Apple TV, and Fire TV. You have to download the app to your television. Super easy. You can find those directions on ksn.com. And there's a lot of other content on there that's exclusive to KSN Plus. Plus a lot of the stuff that we do also, like replays and newscasts and
stories,
stuff.
things like that.
Sorry, I got this cord
You're having
issue.
a lot of TV blunders
Just not
tonight.
doing yeah, I am. Might be a little tired. That might have something to do with it. But so yeah, TV blunders, Julia. We thought for the next half hour we would kind of just what is the word for it when you is it self-depreciating or what? So
self-deprecating.
Self-deprecating. We basically let it all out to communicate to our audience, to you at home, a lot of the mistakes that we've made.
They're watching at home saying, we already know.
Oh, we know. We see your mistakes every night when we watch, but we don't.
There are a lot of things I think that happen behind the scenes that people don't maybe realize are mistakes. And then, of course, there are mistakes where everyone knows that's a mistake.
There's an old saying in television is, well, the audience couldn't tell, and you, or the other one that I like too is, it felt a lot worse than it was.
That's my favorite.
Yeah, it felt worse than it was because nobody at home could tell. It looked fine, and it's just a way to
make us feel better.
Like some nights though, you're like, oh no, everybody saw that. That's not. No, that was as bad as it felt.
Because the saying really is, it's never as bad as what you feel like in the moment.
Right.
Or if there's a pause and you think, oh my gosh, that was forever, and you watch it back and you say it wasn't that bad. I had a director once, because I will always, and you know this about me, I will always go back and watch the playback.
Yep.
Good, bad. I watch it like game film.
You do.
And I had a director once get in my ear, my IFB, and say, nope, that one was as bad as you felt. And I said, hey, wait till the show's over.
Yeah, it's funny, though. I used to watch a lot of game film, too. We call it game film. But I used to watch a lot of, when I started out back in I forgot the decade, I would watch a lot
Somewhere
of.
in the 1800s.
It was a lot more difficult to watch video back. Yes, the 1800s. We had to.
It was harder to watch it back then.
It was. You had to. Yeah, it wasn't as simple.
Yeah.
But I don't do that anymore. I don't watch a lot of the game film.
Why?
I should, but I think it's just a matter of I know what it's almost like it's like, well, I just lived that, and I've been doing it so long. Like I don't, you know what I mean? Like I guess now I'll watch tape on other folks if they want some feedback.
Yeah.
But I don't go back and watch. If we have a pedestrian newscast or we're doing our jobs and we're delivering the news every night, I won't go back and watch.
For anybody who we are catching up to speed, we're talking TV blunders, and we are referring to game film as we'll watch the show back.
Yeah.
People will say, oh, do you watch the show? Yes, but we do refer to it as game film.
There's also...
Or tape is what you said.
Tape. Yeah. Go back and watch the tape and study the tape.
Yeah.
But it's a little different now than it was back then. And I guess maybe it's just... I should, I'm sitting here thinking, I probably should go back and watch some of that stuff, but I don't know what I would get out of it at this point, other than just looking at the aesthetics of the set or the lighting or anything like that. But I would do that if they asked. Sometimes they'll say, hey, will you take a look at this and see what you think?
Yeah.
But I don't do it on my own.
Yeah.
But you do.
I do it. I still... Right, this is the reality. We're in different maybe points in our career where I still watch it. I will say something else too. You've been on this set longer than I have. So when I went from mornings to evenings, even at the same station, I was standing in different spots. So when I was on mornings, I was in your spot. So when I went evenings, all of a sudden the cameras were different, the angles were different. I was looking at different shots in different directions.
We've added a lot of movement too, but I don't like to watch me. Which sounds, well, most people might think that,
That sounds normal.
But I don't.
Yeah.
It's almost cringe. And
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. It's
Yeah,
almost
I get
it's
that.
almost cringe because I get sick of the sound of my own voice,
Yeah.
which is true. I do. And sometimes you're off, I'm off. We do what we call the solo shows, and then I get to the point, I'm about 30 or 40 minutes into that hour at 4, and I just don't want to hear me anymore. Hey, man.
Yeah.
I just don't want to hear him anymore. And so therefore, that's maybe one of the reasons why I don't go back. But we've had plenty. Well, I can't speak for you. I've had plenty of TV blunders in my career.
Yes.
That some I thought might be my last day. So
Thank goodness it wasn't.
Thank goodness it wasn't. But one stands out. I'll tell you one that stands out. That really, it was my first real. It was my first. I was pretty new to the business, and I got a really good job over at another television station doing sports on the weekends. And at that television station, back then we had these tapes. Anyway, long story short, you had to take your tapes up to master control, and there was a guy or a person in there that would put the tapes in during your shows or during your presentation. And I was running behind, man. I was up against it. I was up against that deadline, And it was, I was 10:15. I think I hit it 10:25. I don't know the specifics, but it was a long ways from the sports office to master control. And there were 2 flights of stairs that you had to climb to get to this master control. And it's a great distance. And I was young, thought I was in shape. Yeah. And so I ran. I was behind it. This is the only time this ever happened to me. I ran during the commercial break leading into sports. I ran with the tapes up to master control as hard as I could. I ran as fast as I could. Gave the tape. Everything's going, adrenaline. I'm still fairly new, so there's nerves and things.
Yeah.
And you want to prove yourself. And
it's adrenaline. Yeah.
got on the set, and this is no joke. We're in commercial break. They're coming out to the sports. I'm on the set. I hear, get everything, mics on, and I can't breathe.
Yeah.
I cannot breathe. And they go, "You're on, go." And it was one of the worst. It was awful.
Yeah.
Because I could not catch my
And then
breath
you can't catch
through
it.
the whole
Yes.
sportscast.
Yeah.
Clearly, no one in the building said, "Hey, man, that was probably felt a lot worse than it looked," because it was really, really bad. And I really was nervous that would be the end of it for me, because it was awful.
Yeah.
And from that point forward, I kind of adjusted my time management skills in terms of deadline, and I never ran again up those stairs. I didn't, because I did not realize that after I had done all of that activity to sit down and not be able to breathe. And it was really a bad deal. But I didn't get let go.
That's good.
The bosses weren't watching. I don't know.
You also kind of sit there. Back in the day, I think the industry is grueling, right? Back in the day, that would be a fireable offense. You have a saying of, our job is to be perfect, especially on air.
Sure.
And it is true. And so I think there's a lot more grace now. And I think that's part of the viewers, that the viewers give us a little bit of grace in that way too. Or maybe it's just what I tell myself. I'm watching your wheels spin.
I also think there's fewer people that want to do this for a living. And 20 years ago, there was always this hey, there's 5 people, 10 people that are like better than you that could come in here tomorrow.
Yeah.
And so you became a little anxious about that, because if you were able to even get a job, that's one thing. And then it was to hold on to it.
Yes.
And now, there just are not as many individuals that are seeking out a career in local television journalism. And so I'm not saying that now it's like, well, we'd let you go, but we don't have anybody, so you got to stay. It's just there's not as many people that are willing to do this. And maybe there were 20 people that could take your job 20 years ago. There might be 2 or 3 now. I don't know. That's just what I think, because there really are. There's fewer people. Yeah. There's a lot. The supply line of broadcast journalists are dwindling quickly.
I will say, so my biggest TV blunder, my worst TV blunder.
Oh, okay.
And it still haunts me. I was, 22, so I'm young. I'm in Odessa, Texas.
Okay.
And I get assigned the story to do about vaginal ultrasounds. So already I'm like, I don't want to do this story on TV. Jeff clearly looks really excited that I'm talking about this. I didn't see that coming.
That's okay. Continue.
But I share it because I'm like, oh man, I don't want to do this story. So I work on the story all day, and the grind. You work on a story for 8 hours, and then you whittle down that story to about 1:30. So my first studio was in a mall. So we had a big glass. It was probably 18 feet long, and it was a big glass window. And so people would come through in the mall and they'd watch.
Oh, that's cool.
And we also had a working newsroom. So the working newsroom meant our studio is in the same room as our newsroom. So all of my coworkers are behind me.
Gotcha.
And our main evening anchor, our woman, was gone that night. So it was just our male and then our meteorologist. And he had a visitor, a dad and a daughter. And I
see where this is
now
going.
Panic of, oh my gosh, I have to say vaginal ultrasound in front of all these people. Mm-hmm. So I say it all day, no problems, no problems. And I come, it's called Fronting Your Story. So I'm in studio, it's all these people. And out of my mouth comes vaginal ultrasound. And I don't stutter, I don't go back, because that's not really a word that you go back and you go, oh, excuse me, I meant this.
Ultrasound?
Ultrasound.
Yeah.
So I front the package, we go into the package, and our main anchor turns around and goes, what did you just say? And our meteorologist goes, well, I'm glad somebody asked her. Everybody be quiet. And we come back to be on camera, and I go, the hospital will no longer be offering those ultrasounds anymore.
Okay. I see what you did there. That's another little trick.
Well, my boss came to talk to me after, and he said, hey, he goes, you're not in trouble. He goes, you covered that so well. Don't even worry about it. He said, you also said that with such... what did he call it? Not passion.
Commitment?
Confidence. He said, you said that with such confidence, I don't think many people noticed.
Right. If you say it in a way, if you mispronounce a word, but you say it like that's how you pronounce it, people are like, oh, I think I've been pronouncing it wrong this whole time.
Well,
look at this fella. He just said it a different way.
I told him, I said, hey, thank you so much, but I know that's not true.
I know you a little bit now, and I'll bet that bothered you for a while.
Forever.
Yeah.
I still think about that one.
I know. Yeah. Those are the ones you want to have back. I wish I could have but I've made several blunders since then.
Yeah.
That were, I don't know, not as, I don't know. That's a tough call. Like I would say I probably blunder once a week, but you learn how to just move forward and not.
I blundered today.
Oh, you did a little bit. That wasn't bad,
which is funny. So it was. We were talking about events in Wichita. We listed off a couple, and one of them we said TBT. Well, I called it. Oh, and the TBT. The TBT. And we hit a sound bite, and I turned to Jeff, and I said, that's redundant. It's called the basketball tournament already. Yeah. TBT stands for the basketball tournament. And Jeff so kindly said, he was like, hey, he said, that's semantics. Don't worry about it. Don't sweat it. And part of it is because you know me and you know that I do have that.
I would also say that most people in Wichita would say, hey, what are you doing tonight? I'm going to the TBT.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think that's just, it's like, where'd you get that cash? I got it at the ATM.
Yeah.
Or at the ATM machine. I pulled that out of the ATM machine. Yeah, whatever. But I think that's okay. That's kind of a blunder. That's okay.
Which is also, though, I think speaks to the pressure we put on ourselves.
Yeah. A little bit. Yeah.
We do have some comments, which this is fun. So Lucy said, glad you did come back to Kansas, Jeff. Glad you came back, KSN. I've watched since 1975. Lucy, thank you.
Thanks, Lucy.
Not you, since 1975.
Thanks, Lucy.
She's watched KSN since 1975.
Well, they didn't clarify that in the comment. That's pretty long in the tooth back in 75. God, those were the days, Lucy. Man. Remember taking Lucy's phone call on the rotary dial, and we'd chat about news coverage. Thank you for watching, Lucy, for real.
Rochelle said, I think you guys are great. People don't know how hard your job actually is. A lot of people think that you just sit there and read a prompter. Yeah. But there's so much more that goes into what you do. Keep it up. Rochelle, thank you. That tells me maybe Rochelle has a background or knowledge somehow. Let us know how you know that, because a lot of people do think that.
All of my friends.
No.
They do. Like, what are you going there and around like 3:40? No. I don't.
Doug said, we're going to come back to that. Doug said, you said you watched tape after your show. How much time do you spend rehearsing before you're going live?
No rehearsal.
But we read all of our scripts.
Okay, but yes, but I wouldn't count that as rehearsal. I would count that as being informed about what we're about to talk about. So a lot of times when, how do I explain this? Like when we are delivering a newscast, it is important for anybody or any person that you watch delivering any sort of news to make sure that that individual knows what they're talking about, no matter what it is. So we spend a lot of time looking into every story that's in a newscast. A little bit more than what maybe we have time to deliver. So we do have a little bit of perspective with each and every single article of news that we deliver. And so in terms of rehearsing, when it comes down to like camera angles, camera shots, and all that kind of stuff, there is no rehearsal on that. That is just a producer will have a vision of how they want the show to flow, whether there's camera movements. You watch a lot of newscasts now on all kinds of television stations, and there's cameras will move and zip and zoom, and you have somebody here, and then they walk over to another monitor, and they walk over here.
Oh, yeah.
That's not rehearsed here, but it is known to us. We have to know those directions, and then know on the floor where to hit our marks and all that kind of stuff. But it's not. It's not like a
that we run through it.
Right, we don't
before.
run through it. There's no run throughs.
We do. So we get out 10 minutes before is essentially like our call time. So we're out on that set 10 minutes before. We're mic'd up, and we get our camera shots set. We run through everything, and then we actually now run our own prompters. So we will sit there and say, okay, where am I? When do I have to move? And we'll kind of coordinate that out.
And if we're having a bad day, we're out there 20 minutes before. If things are a little rough in the newsroom, we're like, oh, we got to get out there and check this. I got to check that spot. That looks like a hard camera movement. And we go out there. But yeah, now we do run our own prompters, which I did that in Chicago. 12 years ago, I was running my own prompter in Chicago.
I did it in West Texas.
There's a famous... I'll bring up another anchor from another station, a very well-known anchor woman, Cindy Close, who was at Channel 12 for many years. And she was one of the first anchors, I think, in this market that she preferred
to run her own.
She's not watching, but if she was, she might correct me. But she preferred to run her own teleprompter, and I believe she had one of the pucks on the dial on the desk. And that was back in 2000, 1998. So I don't know where it's going with that. Anyway, that takes a little bit of, it's kind of like a dance, kind of learning a new dance, because there are a lot of moving parts during a live newscast.
I want to come back to that rehearsal, but Doug also said, I can imagine if that were done in a Texas drawl, vaginal. It was not, it was just my regular, and I butchered it either way.
Oh boy.
But that is funny. We talk about rehearsals, and I remember when I went from mornings to evenings, when you come and do like an anchor read, when you're testing, you also oftentimes will do like a chemistry test with whoever you would be anchoring with. So when I came here, Eddie Randall, who I started with in the morning, wasn't here yet, but when he came, him and I read together. So when I went evenings, I'm thinking like at some point you and I are going to do a chemistry read. No. We didn't do that. Yeah. I'm thinking, I've never done, I still felt like I was new. I was there for about a year and a half before I moved.
We didn't really know. I mean,
no, we didn't know
most of the time when you have a morning shift and an evening shift, those two crews do not intersect.
Yeah.
I've worked many stations, many years with not ever knowing the morning individuals.
I only really knew you because road trip. And I wouldn't even say I knew you, but I had talked to you. But I kept thinking, we'll do a run through, we'll do a rehearsal, we'll do anything. And they were all new camera shots for me. And I remember you guys saying, oh no, we're just going to go. And I remember being so terrified.
You know what's funny when you tell me that now? Because you kind of are the sink or swim person. Like you are like, I think people should sink or swim. And we kind of put you in that position. And you swam.
And I swam.
You swam it.
All day for our first day, phenomenal shows. That very first day. And we get to the very end at 10 o'clock. And Jeff says, you can say goodnight at 10.
Oh, this is a blunder.
In the morning, we would always say, it was in the script. We asked, is this a thing? So it became the thing on the morning. Go make it a great day. So when we're closing at 10 o'clock, and I've had phenomenal, flawless shows all day, and I butcher it, and I go, I think something to the effect of, go make it a great day tomorrow.
Tomorrow. When I got here, I introduced the sports director as Cake Sports Director.
Oh, no.
I'd worked at Cake TV for several years, and that happens a lot, actually, when we get new employees they are so used to saying their call letters of their former station that they just have that it's a habitual thing in your mind. And so I did. That was a blunder, and I felt terrible about that.
Oh, yeah.
And then, of course, everybody behind this is like, oh, man, no, nobody noticed.
And everybody noticed.
Yeah, right.
A couple things. Austin said hello from Ulysses.
Hey,
Stephanie
Ulysses.
said hello from St. Louis. We love Ulysses. And we love...
It's my Stephanie in St. Louis.
Yeah, it is your Stephanie.
I'll be seeing you tomorrow.
And Rochelle, so here's what I had forgotten. Rochelle is Kevin Perkle. That's his wife, Rochelle.
Okay.
Kevin Perkle is our Kevin Perkle. So she said, I know more than I should.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah.
Because Perkle probably comes home from work and says, those idiots. Computers are broken again. I can't fix the roadie. Yeah, I know. Well, yeah, it's, I want to go back to one thing about the TV. We talk a lot about the TV stuff. I will just tell anybody out there that might have a relative or a youngster that wants to get into this, you have to really, the TV part of it is like, it's so really small. Like 20% of it, maybe. And so you really have to love everything else about this craft if you want to last. You have to be passionate about all the stuff that you don't see that are not even on TV related. And a lot of times people make the mistake or at least I've worked with people who were getting into it years ago that just wanted to be on TV.
Yes.
There was a time before TikTok and Facebook and everybody had a channel and everybody had a podcast where in order to get your TV buzz, if that's what you wanted to do, you had to hook on with a local station. And if that was what was driving you, those folks are no longer probably in the business because there's so much more to it that doesn't have anything to do with microphones and hitting your spots and moving cameras and all of that.
Yeah.
And it's so you kind of have to love all of that other stuff. And if you don't, and usually you figure it out in a few or 3 years, and that's it.
And you've heard me say it. I will tell, especially interns, your first contract teaches you if you actually want to do the job.
Yeah.
It is so hard. And I will say the same thing. If you are only in it to be on TV, this is not the job for you.
No.
It's such a small percentage of what we do that it will not be worth it
and
for you.
It's not personal. I got some great advice from another individual that's retired in this market, legendary journalist, and I won't say his name, but he did a feature or something about it as like his people. You can figure it out if you're
really
watching.
Hit that one.
And he gave me the advice years ago that when he was a news director for a little bit at Cake TV, and he was very open and honest with people who, if he didn't feel that this was the career for them, he would tell them, this isn't for you. You should probably do something else. And it wasn't to him being mean; it was him actually helping these individuals because he knew what was ahead of them, and he wanted everyone to succeed and be happy. And so, if he could sense that this wasn't for you, he would tell you, this isn't for you. You need to move on.
There are two things that stand out to me based off that advice is, the saying, if you judge a fish's ability to climb a tree, right, you'll never know what a fish can do. So it's not for everybody, but also so much of our job is being told no. And so if that would deter somebody, then that right there tells you it's not for you. If you're going to be deterred by one person saying, hey, it's probably not for you, I will tell people it's not. Don't call one person 100 times. Call 100 people one time. And you're getting 99 no's, but you only need the one yes. Yeah.
Yeah. We could write a book.
Or start a podcast.
That's a lot of work, though. Writing a book. Gosh. Getting too old for that. Actually, I'm trying to think of some more blunders that I've had. I made mistakes. I had some mistakes in Chicago. There's a little more pressure up there. And I remember the next day I got called in to the general manager's office, and he just looked at me and he's like, what happened last night?
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, oh, man, he was watching. I'm like, and what had happened was, I'll tell you what happened. We were running our own prompters, and there was a prompter glitch with the mechanism that scrolls the words that our talking heads are supposed to say out loud. And there was a problem, and it was a glitch, and I fumbled the football, man. Thought I could talk my way out of it.
Oh.
Didn't work. And he called me in the next day, and it wasn't to like
berate you.
Me. He was just curious because he's like, man, you're always so money.
Yeah.
I made that up. He said, but you're always pretty good.
Did he say, you're always so money? I know he didn't.
I think that. And he
Not
said,
saying he's
and
wrong.
I did. And he said, man, what happened last night? And I had to tell him. And he's like, oh, well, I mean, okay, I just want to see. And he didn't say, like, don't let it happen again or anything like that. It just, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And it does, like, oh, okay. Yeah, because it goes back to, they're not rolling folks out there to mess up. That's just part of the game. You know what you're signing up for.
Yeah.
You got to be good all the time, consistent, year after year after year.
Yeah, day after day.
Day after day. And so that was just a little reminder that sometimes, you know, if we're not at our best.
Yeah.
And the other thing too about TV blunders, I'll throw this out there real quick. You know, we hate making mistakes because a lot of people behind the scenes put a lot of hard work into putting the shows together. It's not just your little anchor people. And so we are kind of we're sort of the last line of defense. And they've put a show together, and we're talking about editors and audio people and reporters and all of the producers and news direct. So you don't want to be the one that fumbles the ball on the goal line. You want to make sure you score because they put a lot of hard work into making that product or producing that newscast. And that's another reason why I feel bad when we have these TV blunders, if an anchor makes a blunder.
Oh, yeah.
And I say, you know, because everybody else has been working 10 hours to put that show together, and we need to make sure we deliver it, you know, efficiently, professionally, and on point every single time we're on.
Yeah. There was a little girl who came in and was taking a tour here, and she said, well, how do you get over the pressure of being perfect? And I told her something to the effect of, you know, people at home know that we're not perfect and we make mistakes. And, you know, because she's young, I think she was in elementary school. And I said, you don't have to be perfect. You just have to show up and do your best and be kind to people and, you know, be nice to people, and that will take you through life. And then she left, her and her mom left. And I turned to you and Lisa and I said, well, I couldn't lie to her and tell her I spiral if I make a mistake and I think about it all night and I can't get over it.
Yeah.
But I love the job.
You're right. We should always lie to the little girls.
Children.
Don't do that. So we've got a few more minutes. By the way, I got some good news. I think, Julia.
Yes.
We're going 45 minutes next week.
Are we?
We're going for. I talked to the people that control this stuff.
Yeah.
They let me into the office. And I said, hey, I kind of mentioned it on the podcast.
Yes.
And they were like, yeah, well, that's cool. Let's do 45.
Okay.
So next week, starting on Tuesday, this will be a 45-minute podcast instead of a 30-minute podcast. Hopefully on Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays on KSM Plus, that you can download that app on Roku, Apple TV, and Fire TV as well.
I'm excited.
I'm excited as well because we're out of time.
Yes.
Can you believe how fast this stuff goes? And I feel like I hope people at home were like, we kind of pulled back the curtain a little bit today.
Yeah, Doug said, loving the insight, wanted to know how long we were in the game. Lucy said, why is it when people are released from the station that you have to wait to go on to another station in town? And I bring those up because I know we are coming to a close here.
Those are all good topics that we could address on another podcast.
Yes.
Yeah, we have all kinds of information on that.
And we'll have 45 minutes.
45 minutes. Well, we still have another minute. You just want to close it out now? I got another minute.
How long have you been in the game? That'll be a quick.
Me?
Yeah, that'll be a quick.
Coming up on 30 years.
Whoa.
30 years, yeah.
Yeah. Coming up on 10.
Okay. Well, you're a decade. I mean, that's cool.
A decade, yeah.
A lot of
decade's a big deal.
Hey, listen, a lot of people don't make it 3.
Yes.
So, yeah, no. Coming up on, which is crazy when I think about that.
30 years is crazy.
30 years. I can't. And it was something that I don't get to it, but I never even imagined I would do this for a living.
Same.
It wasn't something that I was like, I want to do that.
Yeah.
Just got in
And 30 years is an incredible career. And to be able to say you got to come home and do it in your hometown is a really cool thing.
It is. But I'm not done yet at all.
No, because we'll be back Tuesday.
We'll be back Tuesday. All right. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you later.